Good morning students, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is waris Jamal. Today is 16th of May. Students, I'm going to continue my previous topic that I was discussing about the topic was form. Actually, in the previous class I give you idea what are the different things that are available on a form, and today you can see on the board I have drawn a complete form that contain a number of things that is related to the topics that I was discussed in the previous class. I discussed about the different things, different components of the chart, different components of the form. You can see here, students, you can see there is a name, address, email address, and these things are written here. These all things, name, address, email address, how many fruits, piece of fruits do you like, favorite fruits, and would you like to like a voucher, and these things are written in a form. These are all labels. Label is also a part of a form that help us to display some information or a text that you can see here. Name, I have written name, and then after the name I have display a text box. This is the text box. Actually, user gave an idea from where he have to type and what he have to type. If I write down name, that means the user get the information. Here he have to type the name of the particular user in the text box. This is a box that contain a text. On the same way, for the address, I have also mentioned as address is indicated by the help of the label, and where the address is to be typed by the user in the text box. For the email also is the text box. The word email that is you are showing here, that is also a label. The students in these forms, just I want to give an overview what are the different things and what are the uses of it. So the first things that I have to use that is a label, and label is used to just display the information about what you want to get the information from the user by the help of your form. So the first things is the name that you want to accept. That name can be taken as an input. Yesterday in the previous class I told you input type equal to text. You must remember that you input type equal to text box. If you define the text box, you will get this types of text box. You will get this types of text box. If you are defining the name of the text box, name equal to, for example, name. This is the name of the text box. Okay, the name will display. On the label, if you want to display the label, just you apply the label, then after name, the label close. The label will display name here. The students, if you want to display the text, in the previous class I told you to use the input type text box. So how the text box appear in the form, I have mentioned here 3 text box in the form to get the 3 different types of information. The student, in the previous section I already discussed about the option buttons. Option buttons means there are multiple options that can be that can have a multiple option, and the user can select either one of them. Here I have mentioned how many. Just I am going to survey about the fruits in the this is the form related to the survey of the fruits, and the survey of the fruits, and here I am giving how many pieces of the fruit that you take daily. Either 1, either 2, or 3. If anybody has used 1 piece, then you have to mention 1, 2, or 3. Here we use the type attribute, type label, input type equal to radio. Here in the previous class I discussed about these things, how it will display. This will display like this. If you are using the input type radio, it will display an option button. that is, or the option button, or it is also called a radio button, that will display here. Okay, again that will you can see here. And the another thing that I am going to use here is a list or a drop down list. Actually, input type equal to select, that I was discussed in the previous class. Input type discuss, if you using the list box, if you want to display a list of item in the list, and the user will select from there only, then the list will display like this. This is the complete overview of the different components of the labels, components of the forms that I am just going to discuss here. So the first thing that is text box, the another thing that is the radio button, and the next thing is the select. In the previous class I discussed about these things. Here is a check box. Here is a check box. Would you like to voucher? Here is a check box. If you want to use this, input type equal to check box. Check box. These are the things that we have to use. That today, student, you must understand that in today's class, just I am going to introduce you what are the different things that can be used in the form, and what is the purpose of that, and how it is appear on the screen. It can you see, if and what the code we have to write. Just I am giving the overview of the code, of the type of the code, what we have to type. In the next my video you will found actually the uses of these input types, input type select, input type radio, input type checkbox, input type text box that I am using here. Actually in the practical session I will give you the information how it will be used and how it will be implemented. So just is the overview, and the last thing that I am using here in my form, that is the submit button. In the previous section of my video I discussed about the submit button. When the user click on this submit button, the all information that is given by the user is stored in some database file, and how the submit button is appear, you can see in the this form. If you want to use this submit button, I discussed about that. Input type equal to submit. Submit is also a type. So students, these are the things that I am going to discuss, that I have discussed in the previous section without the form overview. We want the actual form. When you see here the actual form here the actual form is there, and what are the different uses. Just I am going to erase these things because it may confusion to you. Just these things are here. These things are here, that is the form, and each are having the different parts. I am going to repeat these things again. To you. Actually, this is a simple form, my dear students. In the form, I use the different types of things. The thing is first I used in the form as a text box. I use the things. Second thing is radio button. That I have used in the form. In the C 1, 2, 3, these are radio buttons. And the next thing that I have used in the select list or select list that I have used in here. And the fourth thing that I have used here in this is a checkbox. And the fifth thing that I have used in this here, a submit button. And the fifth and the sixth thing that I have used in here in this form is a label. That are the major components in this form that you see here. And you see what are the different ways, what we have to type to use this. We have to use the input type element equal to followed by this table name, radio button, list, checkbox, submit and label. Label cannot be used in the input type. Okay, these are the different input types that are used to create a form. I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey you. In my next video you will find that actually what we have to exactly type to display the things. I will definitely discuss this with this form in my next YouTube video, and it will definitely get your information exactly what you have to type. Here I am just mentioning what are the different components that I have been used. I am using this in this form, and what are the different input types or input elements that can be used in this form also. So students, this is enough for today's my video, and in my next video it is very important because it is the you can say it is the complete thing that you have found in my first video related to form, and in my second video you will get all the things combined, how to utilize these things in a HTML in my next video. Thank you for watching my video, and keep learning, and you must subscribe my channel to get my new videos also. Thank you very much.